Spider-Man 2's New Game Plus update has been revealed, and in this video I wanted to talk about the other DLC content that we haven't really discussed yet, including brand new villains that were not from the Spider-Man 2 leak, and also the heroes that we could be seeing in the DLC. But first, let's start off with the brand new suits, as a lot of people may not know that we are getting brand new suits in New Game Plus mode. However, we're also going to be getting brand new suits throughout the year. As the DLC packs drop for Marvel Spider-Man 2, we will also be getting brand new suits to be accompanied with the DLC stories. It's also very likely that we will get DLC themed suits, so with the Beetle, Carnage and Spider-Verse expansions, we should get DLC suits tied to those stories. We already got a Carnage suit for Miles in the base game, but I'm hoping we will get more Symbiote style suits for both Peter and Miles in the Carnage DLC. Likewise, having some Spider-Verse suits, where there are hundreds to choose from across the Spider-Verse movie, those will likely be added for that DLC content suits. Now moving on to the Carnage DLC, it's very likely that this DLC will continue Venom's story and lead into the Venom game. It's also highly possible we will get to see who is the next Venom, as I think Harry will be out till Spider-Man 3, as his injuries are heavily fueling Norman Osborn's ambitions to become the Green Goblin. So it's likely that Eddie Brock or Flash Thompson will be teased as the next Venom for the Venom solo game, apparently coming in 2025. Again, this is the year of DLC for Spider-Man 2 for Insomniac. 2025 will be the year of Marvel's Venom, and 2026 will likely be the year of Marvel's Wolverine. It's also unlikely that Carnage's story will be wrapped up in a DLC story pack, and I feel like this story pack will be a major teaser for Marvel's Venom. It may make it look like Carnage is dead at the end, and then tease him for the Venom game becoming even stronger. It's also very interesting to note that in the leaks, it seems like Marvel's Venom will have 3 playable characters, so Peter and Miles could definitely be a part of the Marvel's Venom game, but be smaller characters, or these extra 2 playable characters could be singular missions, similar to how Venom had his own singular mission in Spider-Man 2's campaign. But in this DLC pack, a lot of questions for Venom will be answered. Now let's move on to the other villains that were teased that could be appearing in these DLC packs, as Marvel Spider-Man 1 had side quests which featured different villains. For example, the Screwball missions. This is likely to be the case in the upcoming DLC packs. Now, Chameleon was teased in the main campaign, and he could have his own missions in one of the DLC packs. It was also revealed that Chameleon is the brother of Kraven and is kind of the final member of the Kraven family, so it's likely to finish off the Kraven family arc storyline. He will get his appearances in the DLC packs, along with maybe the other symbiotes. Now, it seems like the symbiotes were actually cut from the main game, including Riot, Agony, Lasher and Phage, and they were all supposed to be a part of the final act of Spider-Man 2. However, this was cut likely due to time constraints, but a lot of people would have been excited to see them and had a story arc with them that would have made the storyline of Venom feel a lot more richer and fuller. So it's very possible that these guys will appear in the Carnage DLC, and maybe for the side missions of the Carnage DLC, you will be dealing with each one of those symbiotes. I do really expect the Carnage DLC to be a true symbiote storyline pack with symbiote suits, symbiote side quests and the symbiote main quest, along with showing and answering a few questions on the future of Venom and teasing the Marvel's Venom game. For me, this is definitely the DLC pack I'm the most excited for, so I definitely think that could be a possibility for the Carnage DLC. Moving on to the Spider-Verse DLC, which likely will have a ton of Spider-Verse suits that we saw definitely in Across the Spider-Verse, because there were hundreds of Spider-Men in that movie. That will likely feature suits from Spider-Verse along with villains from the Spider-Verse, and not necessarily the villains from the Spider-Verse movies, but actually from the Spider-Verse itself. So a 1980s version of the Rhino, a futuristic version of Doc Ock, and they could even pull out that Venomized Sandman. There are so much opportunities for the Spider-Verse DLC, and now that I've talked about it, maybe this is the DLC that I'm most excited for. Next, I want to talk about some of the heroes that we can expect from these DLC campaigns. Now, I definitely expect them to introduce Cindy Moon Silk properly in at least a final DLC pack for this game. I think the Carnage DLC will heavily be for Peter Parker, and the Spider-Verse DLC will heavily be for Miles Morales. So at the end of the Spider-Verse DLC, in the post-credits, it's likely likely that we will get to see Cindy Moon's face, and I also think it will be revealed whether or not she has powers, and that will act as a major teaser for Marvel Spider-Man 3. Also, it's very possible that we will see Miguel O'Hara from the Spider-Verse movies again in the Spider-Verse DLC. Another possibility is that we could even see Daredevil in these DLC packs, maybe for the Beetle DLC, as a lot of people are excited for the Beetle DLC, but it's just not as big as a Carnage or Spider-Verse DLC pack. So when it comes to the trailers of revealing these DLC packs, maybe Daredevil will be a part of the Beetle DLC storyline, as they have kind of teased him in the main campaign through his missing plaque and then adding it in again, indicating that he went on for a little trip, they took off his plaque, he came back, he sorted out the legal stuff, his plaque came back, which means Daredevil is back in New York. Now, I don't think Daredevil will be a playable character, but be sort of a companion piece to the Spider-Man you are playing as, similar to Yuri or Agent Venom in the game. And even though we know Insomniac's lineup of games, this could be a tease for a potential Daredevil game, or see the consumer interest in a Daredevil game for a different PlayStation studio to pick up that IP. So that's what I would be expecting in the Marvel Spider-Man 2 DLCs. I think these heroes and villains would make sense. I definitely think having suits tied to the DLC story packs would make total sense, and something I definitely see that's going to happen, and I cannot wait for the first major reveal of this DLC packs. We're getting New Game Plus mode March 7th, so hopefully after March 7th we will get to see these DLCs, likely in a PlayStation showcase or even its own dedicated state of play. So if you want to stay up to date with the Spider-Man universe of Insomniac, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We've talked about Marvel Spider-Man 3 and everything pertaining to that game, and we'll continue to give you the update. So like the video so it reaches more people, comment what suits you want to see in each DLC pack, and I hope to see you in my next videos. Take care, guys.
I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say, I don't push pause, no I push play, I won't stop till I make a change, I withdraw on the things I make, I turn flaws into flawless traits, I build